Right now, you feel like the pilot of your own body. You think, I want to move my hand, and your hand moves. You think, I want to look left, and your eyes look left. It feels seamless. It feels instantaneous. It feels like you are in charge. But I want to show you a glitch in that system. A glitch that suggests your feeling of control is actually a carefully constructed hallucination. Let's try a simple experiment. You can do this right now. First, I want you to look at a stationary object, maybe a lamp or the corner of your phone. Now, keeping your head still, look quickly to the left, then back to the right. What happened to the world? Nothing. The lamp stayed still. The room didn't jump. Even though your eyes moved and the image on your retina swiped across your vision like a camera panning, your brain said, "Relax, the world is stable. We just moved the camera." Now, let's break the machine. Close one eye, take your finger, and gently push against the side of your open eye, physically wobbling the eyeball just a tiny bit. Look at the lamp now. It's jumping, isn't it? The whole world looks like it's shaking. Here is the paradox. In both cases, the image on your retina moved. In both cases, the eye physically shifted. But in the first case, the world was stable. In the second, the world fell apart. Why? Because in the second case, your brain didn't order the movement. It didn't predict it. The movement happened to you, not by you. This simple distinction is the only thing standing between you and total psychosis. It reveals that the feeling of "I did that" isn't a default setting of reality. It is a specific biological magic trick that your brain has to perform millisecond by millisecond to stop you from confusing yourself with the universe. And when we look deeper, we realize that this magic trick explains everything, from why you can't tickle yourself to why you feel like a conscious human being at all. But to understand how the trick works, we have to look at what happens when the signal goes dark. So, why did the world break when you pushed your eye, but stay stable when you moved it voluntarily? The answer lies in the bureaucracy of your brain. When you decided to move your eyes to the left, your motor cortex sent a signal down to the eye muscles saying, "Move left." But, and this is the crucial part, it didn't just send that signal to the muscles. It sent a duplicate signal, a carbon copy, to the sensory part of your brain. Neuroscientists call this the efference copy. Think of the efference copy as a frantic text message sent from the pilot to the passengers. "Attention, we are about to turn the plane left. The view out the window will shift. Do not panic. The world is not moving, we are." Because the sensory brain received this warning, it knew exactly what to expect. It subtracted the movement of your eyes from the image of the movement. Equation: visual shift minus predicted shift equals 0. Result: the lamp looks stable. But when you poked your eye with your finger, the motor cortex didn't order that. There was no command, there was no carbon copy, no text message went to the passengers. Suddenly, the image on the retina swiped sideways, but the sensory brain had predicted silence. Equation: visual shift minus 0 prediction equals massive error. Result: the brain assumes the world itself is shaking. This mechanism is running constantly for every single thing you do. It is the only way you distinguish "I am touching the wall" from "the wall is hitting me." This is also why you cannot tickle yourself. Go ahead, try it. Run your fingers along your ribs. You might feel the pressure, but you won't get that panic-inducing jerky sensation of being tickled. Why? Because your brain sent the command to your fingers. It created an efference copy. It predicted exactly where, when, and how hard you would touch yourself. It canceled out the sensation before it even hit your conscious awareness. It's boring news. But if I were to tickle you, your brain has no carbon copy of my movements. It can't predict the timing. The sensation hits your nervous system raw, uncanceled, and totally surprising. So, we have a system that filters out self-generated noise so we can focus on the outside world. That sounds efficient. But here is where it gets unsettling. This system suggests that you never actually feel what you do. You only feel what goes wrong. You only truly experience the gap between what you expected to happen and what actually happened. And when we apply this logic to the very feeling of having a soul or being an agent, things start to get very weird very quickly.
So, what does this technical wiring have to do with who you are? Everything. Because this mechanism doesn't just apply to eye movements or tickling, it applies to thoughts. Most of us have an internal monologue. You talk to yourself in your head. When you do this, you know that you are the one speaking. You don't freak out and think a ghost is whispering in your ear. Why? Because of the efference copy. Before you hear your internal voice, your brain sends a carbon copy of that thought to your auditory cortex. It says, "Prediction, we are about to think the word sandwich." Milliseconds later, you think sandwich. The prediction matches the reality. Your brain stamps the experience with a label, self-generated. You feel a sense of agency. You feel like the author of that thought. But what happens if this specific wire gets cut? This is the leading theory behind hallucinations in schizophrenia. Imagine a patient who wants to think the word sandwich. They think it, the auditory cortex hears it, but the carbon copy never arrived. The sensory brain is shocked. It didn't predict this voice. It hears a voice inside the head, but because the self-generated stamp is missing, it applies the only other label it has, external. The patient isn't crazy in the sense of being broken. They are perceiving their own thoughts exactly as you would perceive a stranger shouting at you. They have lost the biological receipt that proves they are the owner of their own mind. This leads us to a profound and slightly terrifying realization about what free will feels like. We tend to think that feeling in control is a solid, fundamental state of being. We think we are born as pilots. But the science suggests that the feeling of "I did this" is actually just a hindsight calculation. It works like this. Brain creates a plan. Brain predicts the sensation of the plan. Body executes the plan. Brain compares prediction versus reality. If they match, the brain releases a chemical reward that says, "Yes, you did that. You are in control." Agency is not a spirit living in your shell. Agency is just the quiet satisfaction of a prediction coming true. It is the feeling of the math working out. So if our sense of self is built entirely on this fragile loop of prediction and feedback, what happens to you when the loop expands beyond your body? If you are defined by what your brain can predict, then where do you end? Your skin seems like the obvious boundary, but look at what happens when you use a tool. When you first learn to drive a car, it feels awkward. You're hyper-aware of your hands on the wheel and your foot on the pedal. The car is an object and you are the subject. But after a few years, that separation vanishes. When you're driving on the highway, you don't feel like you're turning the wheel. You feel like you're turning the car. If a pothole hits the tire, you wince as if it hit your foot. Why? Because your brain has updated its files. It has expanded the efference copy system to include the car. It now sends predictions not just to your wrists, but to the tires. It predicts how the car will move. And because the car obeys those predictions instantly, the brain stops treating the car as outside world and starts treating it as me. The tool has become part of your body. This is why a master violinist doesn't look at the bow. The bow is just a long finger. This is why a gamer feels like they are physically inside the screen. This leads us to a final, liberating realization. You are not a fixed ghost trapped inside a bone cage. You are a flexible, expanding field of control.
Your self extends exactly as far as your ability to predict the consequences of your actions. When you understand a tool, you become the tool. When you understand a partner so well you can finish their sentences, the boundary between your minds starts to blur. When you understand the laws of physics, the universe itself feels a little less like a chaotic storm and a little more like home. So, the next time you move your hand or click a mouse or drive a car, remember that seamless feeling of control is not a given. It is a constant, quiet victory. You are a prediction machine, constantly casting a net into the future, and everything you catch becomes part of you. You end where your predictions fail.